Tonight, an I-Team investigation. High levels of lead found inside the Burke County Sheriff's Office. One former deputy says it poisoned him on the job.
How concerned are you about your former colleagues over there?
Really concerned.
So concerned, the deputy's attorney just filed an injunction in Burke County Court.
They are asking a judge to shut down what the suit calls contaminated areas of the sheriff's office. They also want all personnel notified and tested for lead poisoning. The source, the indoor firing range inside the sheriff's office.
The injunction also wants back pay and damages for that former deputy under the Georgia Whistleblower Act. This comes after the I-Team's Lizzo and spent weeks asking questions and investigating.
Burke County Sheriff Alfonso Williams and Burke County Administrator Merv Waldrop are named in the whistleblower complaint. The lawsuit alleges the sheriff not only knew about the potential risks of lead poisoning, but also retaliated against the deputy who spoke up by firing him. A deputy in uniform with a full head of hair.
When did you first realize something wasn't right?
Pictures 3 years ago.
I want to say it was February 2019.
Now feels like a lifetime ago.
I went to get my hair cut, and the girl that's cut my hair for 20 years said, you need to go to the doctor, Jay, something's wrong.
Jay Hollingsworth looks nothing like the deputy that once served the citizens of Burke County.
And it was a pain where it felt like somebody was taking a syringe full of hot lava and pumping it in each one of those joints at the same time.
More than just his body has aged since first getting sick.
It's horrific. I can tell you his short-term memory and even some of his long-term memory is very, very, very bad.
Test results showed high levels of lead in his blood in June of 2019. Jay's lead levels measured nearly twice the amount doctors defined as abnormal and elevated.
What hit my mind was I got shot. I had a bullet lodged in my vertebrae.
While on duty in 2013, a stray bullet struck Sergeant Hollingsworth. He continued to work at the Burke County Sheriff's Office as a firearms instructor at the Burke County Firing Range for the next 6 years until doctors diagnosed him with lead poisoning.
He even told us how dangerous it would be and that we needed to plan ahead, maybe get family members and friends to give blood.
And a doctor tells you to plan ahead.
It's very stressful. Very stressful.
Our camera was there in the summer of 2019 when the sheriff's office and community came out to donate blood to the sick deputy the month before his surgery. Initially, it appeared surgery worked. Jay's medical records read, source of lead exposure blood has been taken out and patient doesn't have significant occupational exposure.
So we go in December for follow-up lead counts. When they take them, my lead results are as high as they were before the surgery.
3 months after surgery, his lead levels spiked to 9.1.
The bullet's not there anymore. How can I still be exposed to lead?
So what'd you do?
The doctors told me that it was obviously coming from an outside source, that I had to find out where. So the first area of concern was my house.
That's when Jay's wife, Tracy, began pulling from her training and experience at work to help her husband.
I have a master's degree in occupational safety and health, so I've worked at Vogel on units 3 and 4, actually testing for lead.
But their home, even their young son, tested negative.
Only thing that I could remember doing was going to a blood drive at the sheriff's office they were having for me.
The same day as the blood drive, Hollingsworth did his firearms qualifications at the Burke County Sheriff's Office, home not just to the sheriff's daily operations, but also home to an indoor firing range. Research shows lead poisoning is usually caused by months or years of exposure to small amounts of lead. It can also happen very quickly with exposure to a large amount of lead.
Doctors agreed. They said that a firing range is definitely a place where there is lead present, that it needed to be checked.
The I-Team found warnings of lead exposure at indoor gun ranges by the Georgia Department of Health. OSHA also warns of lead risks involving employees of indoor firing ranges. Firing lead bullets produces gun smoke that contains lead dust and fumes. Lead dust on hands, clothes, or surfaces can contaminate food and lead to ingestion. Because of those dangers, specialized ventilation systems are recommended. Aware of the risk, Tracy asked a colleague of her husband to test the sheriff's office for lead using an at-home kit. Red means positive.
He did go and get tested, and he did wind up finding out that he had lead present in his blood.
The results for his colleague detected lead, but his body appeared to be handling the exposure and the levels were within range. The Hollingsworths notified the county and requested professional lead testing. The sheriff brought a company in to test the facility in June, but we found they never tested for lead. This report from Alternative Construction and Environmental Solution, or ACES, found problems with the indoor firing range ventilation system in June of 2020. The exhaust fan not working properly. There was no high-efficiency particulate air filtration system to meet EPA guidelines. A follow-up inspection found the sheriff added the system in and replaced the exhaust fan, but still ACES recommended that the ventilation system be reevaluated on an annual basis to ensure it remains operating properly.
How long were you in law enforcement?
Right at 25 years.
He kept pushing for lead testing even after receiving this letter. Effective October 31st, 2020, I will terminate the employment of Jay Hollingsworth with the Burke County Sheriff's Office.
You were let go.
I was.
Why?
The letter I got stated that I was let go because the medical doctor said I couldn't perform the duties. I don't know which medical doctor because I've asked all of mine.
It took hiring a lawyer to finally get the test done this April. The results confirm what Jay was telling the sheriff's office a year earlier. Lead was found in every single sample, 2 of them well above the exposure limit set by OSHA, the highest level outside of the door leading into the indoor range and physically on another Burke County employee. Results from personnel air samples show current work practices and engineering controls are not adequately controlling personnel potential exposures to lead. The I-Team requested an interview with Sheriff Alfonso Williams. We called, we texted, and we emailed asking for a sit-down interview. He responded by sending us this statement. Our personnel and others having training in our facility are not continuously and repeatedly exposed to lead. Experts in the field of air quality and cleanup have consulted with us. They continue to ensure repeated or overexposure to lead is non-existent. Recent tests of our facility show lead is contained and not a factor to persons in the building. Out of an abundance of caution, we have discontinued the use of the firing range to conduct firearm training.
Why are you telling your story?
Because I don't want anybody else to go through this.
How concerned are you about your former colleagues over there?
Really concerned.
He worries about other people too.
Oh yeah, the range is cleaned up by trustees.
Trustees?
Trustees.
So inmates.
And there is this. Each month, the sheriff holds a Citizens Training Academy inside the firing range. These are pictures from a class in March, a month before the test confirmed dangerous levels of lead in the building.
I think I was let go for pushing so hard to get the lead testing done in this building. And I did it solely because I didn't want anybody else to go through what I've gone through. This lead has been a living nightmare for over 2 years now, and I will not get it out of my blood for at least another 2 years.
Studies show lead can stain the body for up to a decade.
I fight through the day. I try to do a lot of things with my 7-year-old.
Hollingsworth taking the road to recovery one step at a time. The first step, warning others, is now behind him.
The sheriff has yet to inform deputies, inmates, and the public of the lead results, which ACES notified the sheriff in their report. Now, I texted him again this afternoon about whether employees have been informed. Here's his response. We stand on our earlier statement and have acted responsibly and appropriately. Now, we still very much would like to hear from Sheriff Williams. Our invitation for an interview remains open. We posted his full statement online.
Liz, thank you very much for that. We have much more news to come, but let's give you a live look outside Interstate 20. Busy afternoon now, but if you're hitting the road for the holiday weekend, nothing should slow you down construction-wise. Tomorrow, the road work is going to be on hold for the holiday in both Georgia and South Carolina. In Georgia, that'll start at noon on Friday. In South Carolina, 6 in the morning. Work picks back up again on Tuesday. Looking forward to a long holiday weekend, Riley.
And we will finally see some relief from the heat later this weekend. Another afternoon where we hit the mid-90s at both our airports today in Augusta. 95, so not quite as hot as the 97 we've seen the past 2 days. But here is the relief in sight. As we head into our Saturday, Sunday, those high temperatures will be dropping off into the 80s. And Memorial Day Monday is looking fantastic. Should stay dry, and those temperatures just a little bit below average for us. But Genevieve has been hanging out all afternoon long with us. She's been up there a good solid 3 hours or so. Very warm over Aiken, dry conditions as well if you're stepping out soon. Temps still in the 90s here in Augusta. We'll have a look at those cooler temps for the weekend and when we can expect some rain in just a little bit.
Just into our newsroom, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office says they are aware of an ongoing problem similar to what you see here. People riding their dirt bikes and ATVs in the streets, stopping traffic, running red lights, and creating other hazards for themselves and other drivers. The Sheriff's Office says this will not be tolerated, and they are taking proactive measures to stop it. Deputies have already started identifying and reaching out to riders and different organizers of these groups.
Also this evening, 6 drownings in our area in the last month. The latest victim, 24-year-old Michael Corey Waters from Grovetown.
Waters drowned last night. He was swimming in the old quarry at the Uchee Creek trails. Brady Trapnell is out there live. He has an update on the investigation. So Brady, do we know anything about how this happened so far?
Well, Laura, the coroner's office, when they showed up at this old rock quarry, they found 2 people here on scene. Both of them didn't know Michael, or Corey, as many of his family and friends called him. But when he jumped in the water and didn't resurface, those 2 people jumped in right after him. The family says 24-year-old Michael Corey Waters could light up a room with his smile. He was the life of the party and a strong Christian man. But on another scorching hot day, another tragic drowning.
To have this many early drownings in the season, I mean, we have not even made it to Memorial Day yet, and we're already seeing a good number of these across the state. That is troubling.
Mark McKinnon with the Georgia Department of Natural Resources says it's unusual, but in natural bodies of water, things can change quick.
Within an hour, you can have a totally different environment under the water than you had the hour before.
Especially in an old quarry where there's often jagged rocks around the banks.
They look just like any other lake, but then as you begin to walk out into them, you're going to encounter very steep and severe drop-offs.
Grovetown Public Safety says this is the first drowning they can remember in city limits in about 22 years. But it left behind a wife, mother and father, 2 brothers and friends devastated.
I would beg people even now, be sure you wear your life jacket.
A tough reflection as we reflect on another life filled with love and joy, gone too soon. And as we approach this holiday weekend, DNR says that about 99% of drownings can be prevented with the use of a life jacket. So for anyone out on the water this weekend, remember the best way to have a good time is to have a good time safely.
Beautiful spot there, Brady, but obviously a dangerous spot with the warning signs posted. Thanks for the live update there from Grovetown.
The city of North Augusta is looking into a special noise ordinance for Riverside Village. Right now, North Augusta bans unreasonably loud noise after 10:30 at night within the city limits. But this new ordinance would allow for some exceptions inside Riverside Village, like for restaurants, for concerts at the Sharon Jones Amphitheater, and Green Jacket games at SRP Park. Council is in the process of drafting up that ordinance, so we'll keep you posted about what they decide about all those fireworks in the future.
Let's talk about car break-ins. They are on the rise all across the river region. Law enforcement says they've investigated nearly 1,000 in Richmond, Aiken, and Columbia counties just this year.
Yeah, that's quite a few. Nick Proto live right outside of our station. So, Nick, what's the advice to try to bring some of those numbers down?
Well, the biggest thing, it may seem obvious, but it's the #1 way to prevent a car break-in. That is lock your doors. And they also say park in an area with a lot of light or by a security camera if you can.
It seems so easy, locking the car after you close the door, but forgetting makes you an easy target for robbers.
99% of the incidents that we've investigated, we've noticed that these vehicles have been left unlocked.
The Columbia County Sheriff's Office says they've seen an increase in car break-ins this year. In 2021, they've had 98 reports of break-ins in the county. That's up 12.5% from this time last year. Richmond County is reporting a small increase as well. They've seen 769 break-ins so far this year, compared to 724 this time last year.
A lot of the people that we've noticed that have been victims have left valuables in the car with the car unlocked, whether it be cell phone, a wallet or purse, and some even have firearms.
Aiken County seems to be trending the other way. The last 2 years, they've averaged 279 break-ins, and so far this year, just 31. Sergeant Bogdanow says other than locking your doors, try parking in an area with a lot of light or security cameras.
Evil hides in the darkness. If you can put light on something, that does have a tendency to prevent and deter people from becoming a victim.
He also says neighborhoods are popular spots for robbers because they can get a lot of cars in a small area.
If they are apt to do it one time, they're more than likely apt to do it 2 or 3 times.
Sergeant Bogdanow says some people may not lock their doors because then they say the robber would just break the window to get what they want. But he says by locking your doors and hiding your valuables, 99% of the robberies that they've seen could be avoided. Guys?
It is simple advice, but it is good advice to listen to. Nick, thank you. Okay, Riley, it is hot out there. Nick looks like he's sweating a little bit.
It is still very hot out there this afternoon. Many of us are still hanging in the mid to low 90s, but there is relief in sight this weekend. We'll have your first alert forecast coming up.
If you're looking to beat the heat, nearly a dozen cooling centers are now open across Richmond County.
Will Volk shows us how they're helping families survive the summer heat.
The heat is here, and for some families in our area, staying cool can be a challenge.
Okay, buddy. Here.
Beatrice Beers takes care of her 7-year-old grandson, Bryson. He has a brain disease called pachygyria. Doctors say he only has a few weeks to live.
You have fun on your vacation?
Last week, Bryson's family took him on a trip to Disney World.
He really had a good time, and then we came home to the air conditioning not working right.
The air in her trailer started going out last weekend, and without air, her home got up to 95 degrees.
I mean, you're sitting here sweating your butt off. The nurses were sweating, and we were trying to keep him cool.
For people like Beers who need to find ways to stay cool, Richmond County has an option.
We've seen high temperatures this week, so our centers have been open all week, and they'll continue to be open for all summer months.
Cooling centers will be open all summer in Richmond County. They're places to cool off and get some water.
And you can go there, bring a book, spend a little time, and just make sure that you are giving yourself a little bit of a breather.
Beers Rental Company did get a working AC in on Wednesday, but she feels like this experience has really taken a toll on Bryson.
He's already on hospice, but I feel putting him through that has just made his life shorter.
So far, the AC is doing its job, and she hopes it stays that way.
So we're hoping.
In Augusta, Will Volk, on your side.
So here is a look at that full list of cooling centers now open. If you know anyone who needs the help, you might want to snap a picture of your screen with the phone and share this with them later. You can also find our list on the website or the WRDW app by searching cooling centers there. But for some people, it's not just a matter of being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and just how we say, check on the elderly, check on your neighbors in these cold temperatures. Here in the South, it gets hot enough, Riley, where this can be deadly weather sometimes.
Absolutely, and we've had it for 5 days straight. And if you think about it, we hadn't seen any really 90-degree days prior to this week. So it's just a big shock to your system. Takes us a little while to get used to it. But we only have 1 day left of mid-90s for our Friday. By the time we get to this weekend, those high temperatures should be back down closer to normal and then even below normal by the time we get to Sunday and our Memorial Day Monday. But it has been 5 days straight now of highs in the mid-90s, going all the way back to this past Sunday. And 95 was the official high today at Busch Field. But as we roll into the weekend, that's when we do start to see some relief. Saturday, upper 80s, mid 80s by Sunday. We'll continue that into Monday as well. So Friday's still going to be hot, folks. Definitely don't think that tomorrow's going to be too much different. But by this weekend, you definitely will notice some changes out there. Pretty hot afternoon over Aiken County from our WeatherStem camera network. 91 degrees still here just after 6 o'clock. And it is expected to stay close to 90 at least through sunset tonight. But by late tonight and early tomorrow, we'll likely see low temperatures down into the upper 60s to low 70s. So a pretty mild start to the day on Friday. Throughout the day, we'll start to see southwest winds pick up between 10 to 15 miles an hour. So a little bit breezy throughout the day Friday. Most of the day will be dry. It's later into Friday evening, Friday night. We are expecting a wave of showers, maybe even a thunderstorm to show up right around sunset tomorrow. Those high temperatures Friday back above average for us. 95, I think, looks like at least a good bet for us here in Augusta. Possibly even hotter, though. The weekend forecast, there's your cool down, upper 80s for your Saturday, mid 80s Sunday, and Sunday does look drier, even with the low chance for rain on Saturday. Don't cancel your outdoor plans. I think it will be minimal rain chances for the most of us. As we head into the weekend, the lake forecast, that looks great as well. Lake temps are now up to 76 degrees, but as we head into the weekend with these temps staying into the 80s and nights down close to 60, we may not see that lake water warm up all too much. For our Monday, 85 degrees for a high temperature, partly cloudy skies, really perfect weather as we head into next Monday. So if you have any plans then, looks like the weather will cooperate with us. We'll hang on to the 80s for the first part of next week, but later past that, we're back into the 90s next Wednesday, Thursday. Those rain chances do go up as well.
Oh, we love hearing that. That is the sound of a lot of very proud families. Richmond County celebrating more graduating seniors today. We saw both Cross Creek and Butler High Schools hold their ceremonies. Festivities continue tonight. A.R. Johnson's graduation is at Laney High School. Westside High also has their ceremony at the stadium. So those are both set to start at 7 o'clock tonight. So avoid those areas if you're in a hurry to get anywhere. There will be traffic.
Meanwhile, well done, 21. We love it. We're learning more about Columbia County's plans to raise the minimum wage for its employees.
Right now, leaders are considering a budget to bump it to $15 an hour. Zana Halliburton live in the studio with us with some more details on who could see this pay bump.
If passed, the budget would make minimum wage $15 an hour for all county employees. Law enforcement, first responders, utility workers are just a few examples. It's important to note Columbia County school employees are not included. They fall under the Board of Education, not the County Board of Commissioners. As far as county employees who make more than $15 an hour, they would also get a pay raise. We asked where the funding's coming from to make this all possible. The county says staff has kept spending low. At the same time, they've seen steady growth in property and sales tax revenue. The county will vote on the proposed budget in a little more than 2 weeks on June 15th. If it passes, we can expect to see those pay raises starting July 1st.
Very good, Zana. Thanks for the update there. Just ahead in sports, UGA's postseason hopes on the line. Another must-win game for the Dogs against Ole Miss. We have highlights in 90 seconds.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
UGA baseball needed a strong showing during the SEC tournament to earn a spot in a regional tournament for the College World Series. A first-round win certainly helped with that, but a blowout loss to Arkansas did not. Dogs still alive and had a chance to improve their resume with a game against Ole Miss. At 14 wins this season, the Dogs are certainly on the bubble for a postseason start. Not a great start either. In the second inning, Kevin Graham takes Corey Sullivan deep. Rebels up to a 1-0 lead, and they were looking for even more. Moving on to the third inning, Jacob Gonzalez, not the one who used to play for the Green Jackets, with a single to right field. That'll score another, but check out the play at third. A great swim move by Justin Bench, avoids the tag. Dogs end up getting shut out 4-0. Their postseason fate will be decided on Monday, Riley.
Hoping for the best for my Dogs there, but they got a tough road ahead of them. High pressure is keeping us dry today, but this is our front bringing us the chance for a few showers and storms late tomorrow. We'll have another look at that forecast coming up. Heading into tomorrow morning, we should wake up with mostly sunny to partly cloudy skies, and most of your Friday should stay dry. As we head towards sunset tomorrow, that's when those rain chances will be with us. Can't rule out a thunderstorm, and if you get underneath the storm tomorrow, could receive over ½ an inch of rainfall, but it will be hit and miss, folks. Not anything too widespread the next couple of days, rain chance-wise. Sunday does look dry. Same thing Memorial Day Monday, and temperatures finally cooler this weekend.
Riley, thanks. That's going to wrap it up for News 12 at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you back tonight at 11. Have a great night.